Welcome to SFN, your preeminent source for space and defense news and all things tangentially related. We're your hosts, loyal to the foil here at Houston Mission Control. And we've got Alara of Sirius in low Earth orbit. And we're here live every Sunday night.
Woohoo! We made it. Space Force News, Sunday night, number 29. We're here, friends. I am your host, Alara of Sirius, here with my wicked smart co-host, loyal to the foil. Loyal to the foil. How's your vibe, man? Vibe check.
Oh,
what's up?
What up, space peeps?
Yeah, what's up, space peeps?
I'm good. I got it together. You know, if you guys could see behind me, I have one of those 1950s NASA supercomputers. It looks like I'm in the Cold War. If my screen were gone, it's horrible. I can't get it to work half the time. You know, I got to go kick stuff and break out the fire extinguisher. It's a mess. It's a mess.
That sounds like a real challenge. Hello, Sol Rico, Joeen, Suiterbug, Keystone, Chef Matt, Rainbow Snuggle Fritz, Rain, Patricia, Claudette, Inez. Hi, friends. It's good to see you. Morning Flower, Debbie. Yeah, so here we are. Space Force News, Sunday nights. Big happenings this week. This is, the commander has been jumping off the walls. Bouncing off the walls? I think it's I don't jump, you bounce. I was bouncing.
Bounce off the walls.
Yeah, but in my spaceship, I can just float in,
Right.
off the walls. But
I'm with you.
But yeah, I've been jumping off the walls, man, because, Ratcliff, hello. I mean, it's progress. It's something.
About that time.
It's something, So we're going to get into some of that tonight. We're definitely going to be getting into some of that. And how it ties into the Defense Authorization Act and what is expected to come from this. So, we'll be discussing a little bit of that stuff. What else will we be discussing? Starship heads up in July. Looks like we're getting some Starship in orbit action in July. Hi, Lala. Good to see you. Hello, Alexis.
Oh, Pissy Chrissy. Hello, D-Live and Foxhole fams.
Christina is Hey guys, Christina is working on a puffin shirt, so it's happening. We're gonna have Puffin Freak shirts here real soon.
Give me the beak now.
Thanks to Christina and Drink with Tessa. Well, she's detoxing now, right? She's detoxed with Tessa, I think.
Detox with Tessa?
Yeah.
Yes, we are detoxing.
Okay,
Indeed.
so where was I? All right, Starship's heading up in July, so it's finally gonna go somewhere and not blow up. We hope.
We hope.
We got Venus flytraps tied in with magnetic fields. Very interesting.
Wild stuff.
Good stuff. Right. Yeah. Let's see. Mars ancient ocean below. That's a shocker, huh? Ancient ocean below. We got some new bacteria on the ISS. It's not the tardigrades. It's something else.
Man.
Yeah. Embryos from skin cells. Russia-China border collision. We got moon collusion. Now we got collision. Man, I haven't even got through the intro and I'm already stumbling.
All right.
Yeah, so we got Russia-China border collusion and moon collusion. There's a lot of collusion going on out there.
So all kinds of collusions, man.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, we have that and so much more. Stay tuned for Space Force News.
Do you want to bring balance to all the wireless radiation fields in your life, including 5G? The Omnia Radiation Balancer is a small sticker you can stick on any device. It changes the state of the field and creates a new resonance between the wireless radiation and your energy field. On the link below, you'll see all our testing results that show how the body responds excellently once you've made this change in your life. Plus, here's a special discount code at the store. Just enter SFN at the checkout. It's easy to bring balance back to your body with the Omnia Radiation Balancer.
Yes, so if you'd like to pick up some Omnia patches, you can enter code SFN at discount for a 10% off discount at checkout. And the link is below to purchase Omnia Radiation Balancer. And bring, is it harmony or balance back into your life?
I think you get both.
I think you get both too.
We'll
go with answer D. Right, both. Right. Isn't it answer D or answer C that's usually both?
That would be all of the above, right?
Something like that.
Whatever works.
Okay,
right.
So super chats from last show. Special thank you to Our Cloaked Unseen World, Suiterbug, Mountain Dreams, Summer, Mark 222, and from D-Live, Big Hair Tsunami, Sean Joe, and Astro Kit. Thank you so much for your support.
Christina gave us super chat right before the show. Thank you. We love you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, Restream doesn't show me. You know how on YouTube the super chats sit up there and you can, like, if you don't catch it when it goes through, you can see it. Restream doesn't do that. So if I don't catch it when it's going through the chat, I don't see it. So if you catch it, Foil, please, you know.
This was a cute little fox telling us good luck, because Lord knows we need it today.
Right? Yeah, this has been a legit struggle today, but we're here. And,
we are here.
We're doing it. So, is there anything I feel like I'm forgetting something right now, Foil? Am I forgetting something, or am I just being the obsessive weird?
Don't fall off the cushion.
I moved the booster seat. Look, I moved the booster seat. I'm now back onto the old school pillow because at least I don't slide off on the pillow. So I'm gonna have to do
winning.
something.
It's all winning.
I'm gonna have to do something about that and the glasses situation. Both definitely gonna have to address both of those things.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you guys. You know, on this big week of happenings. I hope it gets more intense. I heard something else came out too, but I'm not sure what it was. But God, I can't remember what it was. Something else came out with regards to that. But anyways, all right. So shall we jump into some Space Force news?
Hit it.
All right, let's hit it. Let's see here. Yeah, there we are on the screen and everything. We're winning tonight. Okay. Yeah, let me just adjust this. I got to get one of those mics that comes down like this, you know, where it's like, you know, because this is a problem. And I notice I get away from it. Y'all can't hear me too. I do that all the time.
No, it does. Yeah, it does that thing. If you're not right in front of it, it's like.
And it takes over where my mouse is, so I can't get to the mouse. It's a very unfortunate situation. It's going to have to be addressed. But for now, you know. Yes, and you can laugh at me all you want tonight, Foil, because
I need to laugh. You might
need
get
to
more
laugh.
than you're bargaining for.
She needs to laugh, guys. So help her laugh. Yeah. All right. U.S. military to keep wary eye on Chinese and Russian space ambitions under President. We got to find a good name. Chiden. Yeah, President Chiden.
President Chiden. Yeah, I mean Russia and China, they're on some mess now.
Yeah. Space ambitions of Russia and China will likely stay front and center for the U.S. military during the administration of President Joe Biden. Chiden, is that what we're calling him?
Chiden. I like Chiden.
During the presidency of Chiden's predecessor, Donald Trump, U.S. officials repeatedly stressed that China and Russia pose a substantial and growing threat to the United States' long-held space dominance. In 2019, for example, then Vice President Mike Pence said that the U.S. is in a space race with those two adversaries, and the stakes are even higher today than they were during the 1960s Cold War space race with the Soviet Union. Biden has already pivoted away from a number of Trump policies, but the new president will probably keep a wary eye on Russia and China in the space domain, if the words of his Defense Secretary, Lord Austin, are any guide.
Lord Austin? He's kind of lording over people at this point.
No, it's Lloyd. Why did I say Lord?
We've returned to some weird feudalistic place where everybody governs by decree, and it's you know, Lord Austin. I can see it.
They canceled Dr. Seuss.
Right, they've canceled all kinds of. What did I see today that I was like, what the hell? Monopoly.
What?
Monopoly now.
Oh,
people are angry at the community chest cards. You shouldn't win $10 at a beauty pageant. It's old school and it's sexist. So now they want to have all super woke community chest cards. Yeah, Monopoly, yo.
They can't cancel the Monopoly. We can't allow that.
They're just changing the cards. You know, Hasbro, the same people that got mad at Mr. Potato Head, just felt like Monopoly needed a refresh, apparently.
Reboot.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Shite. Horse shite.
As we were. In written testimony submitted to the Senate Armed Services Committee ahead of his confirmation hearing in January, Austin noted that space is already an arena. Oh, I'm on a roll tonight. This is going to be good.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to pull up the article, man.
An arena of great power competition, and identified China and Russia as the United States' two main rivals in this particular sphere, guys, just to clarify. as they are in other domains. China and Russia's space activities present serious and growing threats to U.S. national security interests, Austin wrote, identifying Russia as a key adversary, but singling out China as the pacing threat.
I happen to agree with that.
Chinese and Russian military doctrines also indicate that they view space as critical to modern warfare and consider the use of counter-space capabilities as both a means of reducing U.S. military effectiveness and for winning future wars, he added. Addressing these challenges in the space domain is central to great power competition more generally. Those counter-space capabilities include anti-satellite ASAT technologies, which both Russia and China have been developing and testing. China famously destroyed one of its own defunct satellites during I'll get through it, Foil. I got this. During a January 20. We have telepathy. We don't even have to talk to each other. I don't even have to look at her. I can feel her energy just looking at me. I can just giving me a look.
You told me one time you can hear me when I'm texting you. You hear it in my voice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny too, because I'll be like, what? And she's like, and she hasn't said anything to me. It's because I can hear her. You know what I mean? I'm like, but what do you want? You know? She's like, why are you saying what?
Why are you wanting me?
Why are you being mean? Because I can hear you in my head. You know? Man.
And for you guys in the chat, I just want you to know, somebody brought this up today, or I saw it somewhere. As an Italian, I'm now mad at Chef Boyardee. So I'm going to start a whole thing now about canceling that guy. I'm offended.
Why are we canceling shit? I'm not even going to ask anymore.
It's
I don't even want to know.
To actual Italians, I just want you to know that.
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I just don't even.
So I've determined that is going to be my target for the week.
So where was I? Now I got distracted.
The ASAT.
Right. For example, generate
defunct.
a huge new swarm of orbital debris, which we're going to be addressing the orbital debris apparently. In May 2013, China conducted a less destructive test of a different ASAT system, which really caught the attention of officials in the administration of President Barack Obama. It apparently prompted the initiation of a national intelligence estimate about the ASAT threat. Here, we'll just move this on up a little bit. Yeah.
No, Debbie, I didn't see that. That's freaking ridiculous. She said, did I read that they're going to make they're trying to get business owners to pledge that they agree that the 2020 election was fantabulous. Otherwise, it's canceled for you.
What?
Man, I don't even know anymore.
What is happening on this planet?
Alara, we just gotta vibe up and wait it out. Like, that's literally all we can do.
Vibe up. There's a new shirt.
Yeah, vibe up.
Vibe up, right? I don't know what the symbol for it would be, but, you know.
I don't know.
I like it.
It's levels.
It resonates. Vibe up.
Yes. Vibe up.
Vibe up, friends. Here we go. Now I got to find where I was again. See? Man, struggling today.
China made a less horrible blowing up of their satellite. I forget.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that on the screen, so that doesn't help me find my place, Foil. You know what I'm saying? No, I've got it handled. Hey, I got this. If I need to call in my wingman, I'll call in my wingman.
2013. All right.
Did you think you found it? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. In May 2013, China conducted a they're like, she can't do it without foil. Look at her try. It's cute. Her trying to be all stubborn and try without foil. All right. And I thought I was going to have to do it alone tonight. I was like, oh, this is going to be a disaster.
We were close.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to be a disaster. They'll help me, though. We'll get through it.
Right.
In May 2013, China conducted a less destructive test of a different ASAT system. Okay, I went through all that already. See? It apparently prompted the initiation of the National Intelligence Estimate about the ASAT threat, which in turn kicked off a Department of Defense Space Strategic Portfolio Review in May 2014, said Brian Whedon, Director of Program Planning for the Secure World Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to space sustainability.
Everything's sustainable. Thank you, EO2 Dave. He says, vibe up.
Yeah. Hi, EO2 Dave. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes. Vibe up, my friend. That's what we're trying to do tonight. Right? Get the vibes high. The goal of the review was to assess whether the department's investments aligned with policy and goals in light of the changing threat environment. Yeah, this is a long one.
Man, a lot of collusion, though. I mean, that's the point, right? Russia and China, they're colluding on everything. Satellite defenses. They got a moon base they're building.
Yeah.
They're attacking the country.
Thank you for the summary, Foil. I appreciate that very much. Appreciate that. Okay. So moving right along, let's see here. U.S. Space Force would support commercial services to remove orbital debris. We got space trash men.
I know. How
What do we
you
call
gonna
them?
make the Space Force guys up there doing space trash?
We got space trash men. We got to give them a better name than that, though. I don't like that. Space
I don't
trash.
know. Garbage man is kind of sexist. We should probably call them garbage people, but that even sounds worse. I don't know. How do you even do that? What do you do? The garbage people are out there.
Garbage persons of Earth origin.
Right? Trashy garbage people. Can't stand those guys.
We're so whacked out, dude. I love it, though. How can you not be? Look at this clown world we live in. I hear that music in my head all day long. Like, what is happening here? Like, you just gotta roll with it, man. You know, keep the vibes up. You gotta vibe up.
Keep it moving. Gotta vibe up.
Vice Chief of Space Operations of the U.S. Space Force, General David Thompson, said it would make sense for the government to pay companies to clean up space junk if such services existed. Orbital debris represents a risk to spacecraft and to safe operations in space, Thompson said on March 16th in an interview with national security analyst John Nagel. I think it's Nagel. We'll go with Nagel. Ding, ding, ding. Of the Foreign Policy Research Institute. I'll pay by the ton if they can remove debris, Thompson said, noting that there are no companies that can do that today. At least we're working on it. Nagel.
Let me tell you something. The first people that come up with a company that will go up there and clean up debris will be Plush. Aw, thanks, Sarah F. I love you guys, she says. Thank you for all you do.
We love you too, Sarah. And congratulations on
do.
your Airbnb in Cancun. She's living it up, man. Last time I was there, I was like 12.
Moving on up.
I remember it was delightful, too. I was like, this place is so cool. You know what I mean? I was on a vibe. I was into it.
Delightful. Delightful.
I definitely got to go back. You know me. I like the ocean friends. Ocean friends.
I know you do.
Yeah. Okay, we are all over the place today. Okay, so back to the space trash. What did we call them again?
Trash people. The space garbage people. The garbage people.
No, we're not calling them that. What are we going to call them? I came up with something. It was kind of a fly, but not really, you know. It was all right. It was better than garbage people, that's for sure. Maybe they have some ideas.
All right. What do we call them, guys?
Someone asked Thompson if he'd heard of Astroscale, a Japan-based company with operations in Denver, Colorado that plans to launch a debris removal mission later this week. Thompson said he was not aware of this company. I'm going to have to go Google that, he said.
Well,
man, regardless of which companies in the space industry end up successfully providing space junk cleaning services, the Space Force would be a customer. Oh, so anybody feel like going into the space junk business, orbital space junk debris cleanup business, Space Force will hire you. So,
man,
there's that.
We need to get on that.
All right, Biden picks former senator who flew in space to lead NASA. Here we go.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Let's see. President Joe Biden has chosen a former senator from Florida who flew on the space shuttle just days before the Challenger launch accident to lead NASA, right? Glasses. Biden on Friday announced his intent to nominate Bill Nelson as the space agency's administrator. Nelson, 78, grew up near Cape Canaveral and was serving as a Democratic congressman when he launched aboard Space Shuttle Columbia in January of 1986. His commander was Charles Bolden Jr., who later served as NASA's administrator under President Barack Obama at Nelson's urging. Nelson was elected in 2000 to the Senate, where he served until his defeat in 2018. If confirmed by the Senate, Nelson will become NASA's 14th administrator, succeeding other former members of Congress, Jim Bridenstine, a Republican from Oklahoma. This is a critical time for NASA as momentum accelerates in the commercial space program. SpaceX is about to launch its third flight of astronauts to the International Space Station for NASA. Boeing is expected to join the crew delivery effort later this year. Space station supply runs, meanwhile, have been handled by private companies under contract for NASA for nearly a decade. At the same time, NASA is teaming up with private companies to launch experiments and equipment to the moon, and also lunar landers that would deliver astronauts to the surface. Just Thursday, NASA conducted a successful test firing of the core stage of its SLS moon rocket space launch system. The new moonshot program is named Artemis after the twin sister of Apollo and intends to include a woman on its first moon landing. Senator Marco Rubio endorsed Nelson for NASA's top job. There has been no greater champion, not just for Florida's space industry, but for the space program as a whole, than Bill, Rubio said in a statement. His nomination gives me confidence that the Biden administration finally understands the importance of the Artemis program and the necessity of winning the 21st century space race. We're in a space race. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that we were in a space race. Then we put it down. We said, screw it. We're done. That's it.
Yep.
And now we're in it again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's what they're selling. Next generation SpaceX Super Heavy rocket shown off in Elon Musk tweet. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Yeah, he's getting there. He swears this one's going to work out.
Look how small that guy looks. SpaceX is moving toward the first test of its next generation Super Heavy rocket that will carry its Starship spacecraft into space. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk on Thursday tweeted a photo, which is shown below, from SpaceX test site in Boca Chica, Texas, showing for the first time a stacked Super Heavy rocket known as the BN-1 prototype. For scale, check out the worker at the top of the crane, about halfway up outside of the 70-meter tall rocket. Look at that.
Where's the worker?
Well, I gotta pull it up, Foil. Look, there it is. Look,
this still says your account is
your
suspended.
Account is suspended and not permitted to perform this action. Wah wah wah.
Oh, look at that guy. He's tiny. Yeah,
right?
He's kind of big.
It's big. Yeah. Well, we're about to show the guy in New Zealand that's doing his thing, and what he built. Right. It's very similar. It's very similar, and there's a little clip we're going to show about that. But yeah, there we go. There you have it. There it is. And
Elon better get this off the ground before they come for everything he has. They've been really at him lately.
Okay, so Elon Musk wants to send a Starship to orbit as soon as July. Woo-wee. That's soon. He's always pushing the envelope. All right, SpaceX is targeting July to take its next big step on the path towards Mars. That's when Elon Musk says he hopes to launch a Starship prototype that includes the full stack, the big guy, the main spacecraft, riding atop the company's new Super Heavy rocket booster. Stripped-down Starship prototypes with 3 Raptor engines have made a series of 3 high-altitude flights over the past 4 months. All these flights have ended in dramatic explosions. And none have
explosions.
And none have yet. I bet rocketeering is fun though. Like, I'll bet they work on it. They get it to their engineers, but they know they get to blow a few up, and it's like,
yeah, especially you got money like that, and it doesn't matter. You just be like,
right?
Like,
Is that funny? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's when Elon hopes to launch Starship prototype that includes the full stack. Right, stripped down Starship prototypes with 3 Raptor engines have made a series of. Oh, we already said that. Okay. All these flights have ended in dramatic explosions, and none have yet taken a Starship beyond Earth's atmosphere. A full stack flight would likely be the first attempt at sending a Starship prototype to orbit. On Tuesday, Musk confirmed a timeline, first reported by NASAspaceflight.com, that has SpaceX targeting a first full stack flight by July.
Awesome.
Woohoo! Yeah, here we go.
Know.
More rockets. Well,
rockets.
At least this one's
That's
going
the
into
way
orbit.
to go, apparently. Right.
All right, so let's see. What do we got here? NASA and SpaceX agree deal to avoid catastrophic space collisions. Well, that's good.
Seems useful.
Yeah. All right, NASA and SpaceX have come to an agreement stating that they will avoid collisions with each other. Hey.
You got to agree to that? Like, you would think that would just be common sense,
Progress.
But all right.
Yeah. The agreement covers conjunction avoidance and launch collision avoidance, as well as related rideshare missions. Rideshares. Yeah.
Yeah, space Uber.
Right? According to a NASA press release, due to the high number of SpaceX Starlink satellites that are now in orbit. Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned about how many satellites. I saw a UFO video the other day. Look, I saw a UFO the other day. You clearly see the UFO, but all next to it is all these satellites, Starlink. And it's like, man, we can hardly enjoy the UFOs anymore. We've got to look extra hard to pick them out because of all the satellites.
Space wall.
Man, I'm telling you. All right. Society depends on space-based capabilities for global communications, navigation, weather forecasting, and much more, said acting NASA Administrator Steve Jurczyk? Jurczyk?
Yeah, that sounds right. Jurczyk.
All right, well. With commercial companies launching more and more satellites, it's critical we increase communications, exchange data, and establish best practices to ensure we all maintain a safe space environment. There are currently over 1,000 Starlink satellites in orbit around the world, more than a quarter of all active satellites orbiting the planet after more than a dozen missions over the last 2 years. SpaceX is expected to continue to launch satellites until it forms a constellation of up to 40,000. But there have been pushback from competitors and astronomers about security and scientific concerns. NASA says the Starlink spacecraft are equipped with GPS navigation to estimate orbital parameters, an ion propulsion system, and autonomous maneuvering capabilities that should help them dodge potential incidents. SpaceX has said that its satellites will autonomously or manually maneuver to avoid NASA missions, with the two organizations coordinating actions. There you have it. So then we got...
Well, at least they agree on something, I guess.
Then we got... so Rocket Lab is going to go to Venus, right?
Now, remember, the Russians done already claimed the whole planet of Venus is theirs. That happened, what, like 3 or 4 months ago?
Oh, this isn't good. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, I guess. I love how they just claimed the whole planet. Like,
well, who says it's their planet to claim? That's
they
all I
do?
know. Well, I mean, what makes Earth governments think they can claim planets like that?
I don't know. I think, don't talk about Russia. Putin might wish you good health.
And when Putin wishes you good health,
that's all bad, bro.
You're done. Yeah.
I say this in all seriousness, with no joke. I wish you the best of health.
Right? That's
right?
some like cold-blooded.
Yeah,
you say to
like
somebody right before you whack them, dude. Like, I wish you good health.
That was the most mobster stuff he could have possibly said.
Right? Yeah, that was straight gangster. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I love the whole Venus topic because, like, you know, building cloud cities, right? Like, we don't think we can.
Well, we talked about how they think
surface.
they may have found life in the atmosphere there. Remember?
Right. Well,
we talked about the byproducts of, you know, some sort of a byproduct, I think, like a respiratory byproduct from something they think that might be living in the atmosphere. They think the surface is probably barren, but how do they know?
Hi, Lori Green. Good to see you. Okay, so let's play the video from the guy.
There you go. Break it down.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Let me make it big. Thank you, Cedarbug. Great job on Conspiracy Couch with Brooks Agnew. Loved it.
Oh, that was fun.
If you all haven't had a chance to see it yet, it's a must-see. Yes, that was very funny. He's going to have to come back.
Suitor.
We're big fans of Brooks.
Great guest.
That man has so much knowledge. I had no idea. When I went on his show, I had no clue. I didn't know anything about him. And then I'm sitting there having a conversation with him, and I'm realizing, whoa, this guy is like super educated on like all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, well, you know.
He's definitely been paying attention to stuff for a while.
Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. And he does have his own show called X2. I think it's X1 or X2
X2 Radio.
Yeah, he's on Wednesdays and Sundays, just like me. I'm not sure if it's the same time or not. But yeah, he does.
I think he started at 8 tonight. I saw him live when we were trying to figure out my...
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
My mess over here.
He's a cool dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so... All right, here we go. Here's Mr. Rocket Lab. Yeah, here he is.
Next up, we have Rocket Lab and their Neutron rocket. The team from New Zealand, always managing to surprise everyone. Just a few days ago, they did it.
So, just to preface this, so apparently, this is what I've been told by the inspector. He says that this guy said he wasn't going to build a bigger rocket, all right? He said, if I do, I'll eat my hat, okay? Allegedly, that's what happened. And so now this.
Again, after Peter Begg stood to his words and ate the hat. We're building a bigger rocket. To be precise, an 8-ton class launch vehicle which puts it into the medium lift category. Much larger than the Electron, Rocket Lab's current launch vehicle. And now, a few days after the announcement, more and more solid information is surfacing. This small animation released by Rocket Lab only a few days ago shows the engine configuration. It will have 4 large engines, not 5 or 7 as depicted earlier. And it's now explicitly stating 1.5 tons of payload capacity to Venus. I had an interview with Peter Beck last spring. Let's listen in for...
Okay, so there you have it. He's headed to Venus. It looks like 2024 is what Rocket Lab is shooting for, I believe. Let me double check on that. But I believe he's shooting for 2024. It's capable of launching over 17,000 pounds or 8 tons to low Earth orbit and is capable of human spaceflight. When it starts launching in 2024, it will enable the firm to support the growing trend of mega constellations with hundreds or thousands of satellites.
That's what we need.
Rocket
More.
Lab CEO Peter Beck is not stopping there. In an interview with Inverse, he says the rocket would help enormously with his long-term goal to explore Venus and conduct more research. We've built this wonderful interplanetary platform, and we can put dozens of probes on board a neutron and go and explore our solar system in the way that I think is important, Beck says. It leads to lots of experiments, smaller in scale, and learn one after the other in an alternative fashion. Interesting wording. So yeah, he's going to Venus. That's the plan.
There are so many companies ready to launch commercially. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're all getting in on it. Okay, so so we're done with SpaceX and with Space Force news. We were going to be moving on to defense. Now, I put this latest breaking article at the very top, Foil. So the first article is going to be AP sources, Iran threatens U.S. Army base and top general.
Actually, can you pull the U.S. military, the China and Russia collusion article first? You'll see why.
All right, hold on. Let me go to China.
It's the Newsweek article.
Newsweek article. Oh, this is it here. Okay, I got it. Here we go.
Time for the black pill. Woohoo!
Yeah, time for it's black pill time. Everybody get your
It is black pill time, right?
Yep, get out your black pills and pucker up, puffin freaks. Yeah.
So this is wild because, like, if you guys have watched the videos I put out on my channel, and even on here, I think we talked about how prior to the election, it was kind of a toss-up where Putin was going to put his loyalties. And I had said if Trump wins, he's going to ride with Trump. If Biden wins, he's going to go towards China. And we've seen all of this action coming out of Russia recently where he's clearly made his alliance. Okay? So now we have the head of the U.S. military command that's dedicated to operations south of the border in Central America, South America, and the Caribbean is openly warning that China and Russia are working together against Washington's interests across the region. So this Navy Admiral, Craig Fowler, listed China. What was that?
Nothing. You're good.
That was crazy.
I was pulling up the chat in Foxhole so I could see everybody.
I heard something say
Hi,
beware.
Friends.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So, so Craig Fowler is saying that China, along with certain transnational criminal organizations, is working with Russia, colluding to ruin our border. I mean, we knew that the cartels were working with China as far as the fentanyl goes. If you remember, we also talked a bit about Venezuela and how Venezuela was sending people across our border, several of which they have arrested from other specified nations that are a security threat. China and Iran being, the top two. What's crazy is it says, as for Moscow now, Russia continues to try to spoil and undermine U.S. interests globally, especially as far as disinformation goes with social media. But now what we're seeing is that the one venue where China and Russia's interests especially are converging is Venezuela. Venezuela is the most notable example, he says, where at the diplomatic level they continue to engage to block any effort at UN solutions or global solutions. Both Russia and China have given their full support to Maduro, along with Iran. If you remember, we talked about how they had arrested Iranians that came across our border via Venezuela because Iran was literally sending troops and armaments to Venezuela, and how they were also tied in with Cuba. We had talked about that before. If you pull up the second article,
all right,
I asked you to add.
The one you asked me to add, right? Okay.
Yeah. At the last minute.
Yeah, here we go. AP sources, Iran threatens U.S. Army base and top general.
Yeah, so this is kind of just crazy how this is spiraling out of control and getting almost no coverage. So at the end of January, right, it turns out that Iran, they released the intelligence that Iran had made actual threats against Fort McNair, which is an army post in the U.S. Capitol, in D.C., saying that they thought they were discussing mounting USS Cole-style attacks, which, if you remember back in the early 2000s, the USS Cole, they had sent this boat up next to some things. The boat exploded and it killed a bunch of people and caused a lot of mayhem. But they were literally, Iran was literally threatening to sail a ship as close as they could get it to DC and blow it up, apparently. You know, they also, the intelligence also revealed threats to kill General Joseph Martin, plans to infiltrate and surveil the installation. The fact that they're even talking so openly about this thing, about these sorts of things, is insane. I mean, it just should, because as we've also talked about before, Iran has full backing of both Russia and China at this point. China specifically has made some headway with them. As far as their tech goes, you know, even their satellite programs. This is why when they talk about space, the new space race being a security initiative, they're absolutely right. Like, it's imperative that we get up there and do our thing. All right, if you want to pull up the Britain article.
Yeah, Britain changes policy so it can use nuclear weapons in response to emerging technologies. Oh, great.
Yeah, now I'm just going to say this briefly. We saw some ideas pop up on Twitter this week that possibly we weren't really sure about what was going on with our own nuclear football, and that other nations have become aware of the situation. Now, you just saw the challenges we're getting on the southern border, right? Certain people on Twitter were speculating that a lot of the actions that we're seeing are because of this. I mean, clearly Biden is perceived as weak, and we'll get into that in a minute when we talk about the mess that was up in Alaska this week. But so other nations have made note of this, and in response to this, what we saw this week was that Britain released its Integrated Defense Review, which they had published last Tuesday, which said basically that they reserve the right to use nuclear weapons, not just in response to weapons of proportion, but in response to emerging technologies. It was even suggested that something like a cyber attack, like an extreme cyber attack that would attack their grid, or something that would cause a mass catastrophe, that they would launch first and launch nuclear weapons in response to this. They also upped their cap. Like, they had a self-imposed cap for how many nuclear weapons that they would have. I think it was like 220, and now they're saying that they're going to increase that to 260. They've revamped their Trident missiles. They're like, I mean, clearly Britain will not be waiting on us to make the call on what happens. Like, what we're seeing more and more is that the people that we look at traditionally as our allies have recognized that we are not really in a position to be co-signing them, and now they're determined that they're going to act, you know, on their own. They don't need to wait for us, and I don't know that I necessarily disagree with that. So it's kind of crazy.
Man, when is humanity gonna figure it out, man?
Just vibe up and ride it out, Alara. That's all we can do.
Like, we gotta stop this nonsense. We have to stop.
Vibe up.
Right? We have to stop. Let's see. Hold on.
On to the next one.
Hello. Hi, Desert Fire, Crash 6871, and I'm just going to call you Capable too, because that's the easiest way to pronounce it. Good to see you guys. And then what was the other thing I wanted to address here? What was it? There was something else. Oh, somebody said, is my account suspended on Twitter? Yes.
Oh, yes.
I got taken down when Mr. T got taken down, along with everybody else. Well, most everybody else. Yeah, Foil made the cut somehow, right?
I was incognito, man.
Because she became loyal to the left, Foil. That's why.
Yes, from Portland.
From Portland. Yeah, that was brilliant too. I laughed so hard. I couldn't stop laughing for like an hour when you showed me.
I'm still there. Right.
Okay, so what article are we on now? We are on
Russia recalls U.S. ambassador after Biden calls Putin a killer. Oh, they're gonna. He's a G.
I wish you good health. I wish I could do a Russian accent.
Oh, that was so great.
Yeah.
So Russia recalled its ambassador to the United States on Wednesday after Biden said that he agreed that Russian President Vladimir Putin was a killer. And then he continued to threaten more sanctions on live TV, which, okay. I mean, I guess that works. So Russian Ambassador Anatoly Antonov has been called back to Moscow to discuss future relations between the two nations, Reuters reported. Russian officials said the decision was a bid to ensure diplomatic relations won't be further damaged.
Look at the look on his face. Look.
That's humanly possible. I know, right?
Would you want to pick a fight with that guy? Not really.
Man, did you see him riding the bear?
I know he rides bears.
He
was in a tank today in Siberia. Did you see him? Was that a tank?
Saying.
What was that?
I don't know. I didn't see that one yet. I haven't had a chance to scour the news.
Do you see a stainless steel coffee cup? He's like, just drinking his little coffee in the snow. Like,
listen, he fought fires. Do you know? There's footage of him like fighting fires, fighting. He's a black belt. Like he's like literally fights. You know, but okay, Biden. Did you see the memes about Putin challenging Biden to a stair climbing contest?
No, I missed those.
Oh, it was great.
The whole thing is just comedy. You know what would have been even better, though? Is if they would have decided, okay, let's project the hologram and have the hologram debate Putin live. Oh, man. I think I would have paid. I would have paid admission for that.
Well, listen, Biden is talking big smack. Listen, he said this about Putin. He said he will pay a price. Biden said of Putin during an interview with ABC. We had a long talk, he and I know him relatively well. And the conversation started off, I said, I know you and you know me, and if I establish this occurred, then be prepared. Like, how are you smack talking this guy?
Right. It's just...
You don't even know what day of the week it is, yo. You can't even get up the steps, man. What are you doing?
You hear he blamed it on the wind. He said it was the wind, and somebody already came and debunked it. It was like, no, man, it wasn't the wind, because if it was the
Do you know how they have to be laughing? Like, they tried to play that card when T-Man was in office, like, oh, they're all gonna laugh at you like this is Carrie. No, bruh, they're laughing now.
Right. It's
like
really sad, actually. I mean, you know, the whole thing with what happened in Alaska, and you know, the Chinese guys saying, you know, you're not operating from a position of strength, really.
No.
So he was basically saying, you know, shut up and sit down, kind of thing.
Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, and it just the whole things that have happened in the last week or two. It's really sad. And then what, I don't know, you brought up something about somebody was talking about, look at the Americans, they make fun of their president.
Yes.
Like they're clowning on him.
They were very confused as to why, like, okay, like why people that didn't support Biden, why, even if you don't support Biden, they don't understand why are we cheering on Putin? Well, personally, I've always kind of been a fan of Putin.
That's a simple answer to me, because we didn't vote this guy into office.
Yes.
It's that simple. He's not, you know, collectively in the consciousness, he's not our president. You know what I mean? He may be sitting in the office right now, but that's not who we elected, and we know it. You know what I mean? And
we're not making any claims.
And I'm not talking
algorithm overlords.
Right? Yeah, we're not making any claims.
We're just talking smack, right? But
like that's gonna make it all right, Foyle. Like you giving that disclaimer statement is gonna make it all right. But even the people that voted for him, look, here's where it comes down to. Even the people that voted for him, okay, they know there's no way. There's no way. They know. And so what does that mean? That means, I'm not going to say it, but we know what that means. And therefore, you have to reach that conclusion. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, that we're not in control of who sits in that chair. Period. And when you reach that conclusion, stuff gets real, right? Anyway.
It has gotten real.
I'm getting off my soapbox. Where were we?
I don't even. They recalled Russia's ambassador. That whole thing, though, when he called Putin killer, and he said, "I say this right in all sincerity. I'm not even joking. I wish you the best of health." I thought,
like, ooh,
oh,
ouch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Woohoo. Yeah. All right. So where were we?
China.
China.
Yep.
We're always on China. It seems like. So we're done with the Putin killer thing.
Right. Yeah. We can. Moving right along.
China berates U.S. and Alaska showdown. Oh, yeah, that's what I was just talking about. So here we go.
Right. We got our collective asses handed to us that day.
Embarrassing. So it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. Really was. It's humiliating, especially coming from. It's humiliating.
The people, like somebody had pointed out, made a really prescient tweet about the lady with the purple hair there. You are talking to probably one of the most old school conservative, like and I don't mean conservative in our sense. I mean China is a very conservative, has a very conservative society. You know, there are standards you follow, and sending the purple-haired lady to go argue with these people, I think, was a bad call. But so this week, discussions between top is the first time it's happened since Biden's been in office. But discussions between top U.S. and Chinese officials are continuing in Anchorage. They had their first day of talks was a mess. The meeting began with an opening statement. It was supposed to be 2 minutes. They had both agreed on 2-minute intro statements. The Chinese delegation got there and for 20 minutes yelled at us like we was bad little kids. Like, if y'all don't sit down and shut up, I mean, went in on us. You know, Blinken tried to say, hey now, like, your cyber attacks and what's going on in Xinjiang and Hong Kong and Taiwan. He said, everything you're doing is threatening the rules-based order that maintains global stability. And claiming that we were approaching them out of a position of strength, like you said, and that got shot down. Their top diplomat, after his tirade, during which he criticized the United States for hypocrisy on everything from human rights and the treatment of minorities here to our foreign interventionist policy, said that we were stuck in the Cold War, that we were just stuck with the Cold War mentality, that you know, we're...
Drailing says, is Putin against central banks? If so, that's okay with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a fan of the NWO.
Yeah, he's been not trying
anti.
To hear it.
He's anti. You know. So yeah, I mean, that we were basically told, like bad little kids, that we were out of our league at this point. And you know, China and Russia, nobody depend. We're not. Nobody. They don't need us like that. And I think that people in America, we tend to think like, okay, you know, well, they need this or they need that. You know, it's our strength that maintains the world order. China pointed out, listen, everybody isn't in line with the Western way of thinking. And now that we have two competing superpowers now. It was never like that. It was the US and Russia. Now that China's raised up, I mean, everybody doesn't think the way we do. And for us to continue to push it on countries like that, it's going to end up being a problem, man.
Did you see General Flynn trolling? Some reporter asked him something about, you know, what is the, you know, the 17 thing? And he was trolling so hard. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? It was really funny. I gotta send it to you.
Was he wearing the green band on his wrist?
And then somebody thug lifed it. They put the glasses in at the end. Yeah, somebody thug lifed it. It was great.
Right.
I think I posted that on my Telegram, but I'm not sure if I did. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So,
well, that is all for the Black Bill of the Week, right?
Yeah. So it is. Dun dun dun.
Time for your regularly scheduled
It's time for your regularly scheduled nature break. Now, I think this is super fantastic. This is coming straight from a Path of Least Resistance post that I caught in a chat, and I was like, that's it. That's nature
cute.
Break. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. So let's check this out.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Make it full screen. We gotta get the full. Here we go. And now for your regularly scheduled nature break. They do look like dinosaurs, don't they? Like a little pterodactyl. Rah, rah! You know what I mean?
The pelicans we got in Louisiana is lots of
this guy just. Instead of Snow White, this dude's like Surf White. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Look at him just following his boat. Wait for it, guys. Wait for it. Watch. Man.
Right? He's like, I'm catching a ride with this guy.
Right. Hand over the fish, buddy. Watch this.
Look, he's like, I don't know what you thought, right?
He just got jacked.
Right.
I'm taking all the fish.
Right.
Look at him. He just got robbed.
You've been
He got fish jacked. He got sea jacked.
He did. Like, you know, they're like, well, now what do we do?
Like, what do we do about this?
Now what? Right? And I'm out. Deuces. Right?
Look, you take every last
like,
fish.
Wait, what happened?
Where's all the fish? You know, cleaned them out. Look at that. No more fish. Man. Anyway, yes, I thought that was pretty funny. Pretty cool.
Cute.
Like, who gets on their boat and there's just pelicans following you, and then the sea lion jumps up and steals all your fish? I mean,
he definitely got jacked.
what did I just see? That's incredible.
Somebody call 911.
Right?
You've been robbed.
You got sea jacked. That's pretty incredible. Okay, so was it showing on the screen? I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, I
okay.
saw it.
Okay, well.
Yeah, they're laughing about it.
Okay. So moving right along into science.
Mark wants to know where his puffin muffins are.
Puffin
We're working
muffins.
on it.
Oh, the puffin
Got
shirts?
some puffin stuffing for your muffin.
Just give me the beat now.
You puffin freak.
Boom. Hit it. You just hit it, Foil.
Right.
Man. Maybe we should do
what we
stand up
talking about?
next. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Right?
Wouldn't that be fun?
You know.
The bacteria. Look at this.
She's so fearless. She's so, well, before you start on the bacteria, Foil's so fearless, guys. So anybody that knows anything about being a YouTuber, like, you're nervous when you first start doing this. Like, you get little butterflies in your stomach and you get nervous and you don't know. Like, that goes on for a while. Like, it's just a perfectly normal thing, right? This chick right here above me, she was never nervous. Like, from day one, she's like, let's do this, Space Force News on her vape. Like,
Woo!
woo, let's roll. I was like, don't you get nervous, bruh? Nope, not at all. Let's roll. I'm like, wow.
Right.
All right. Yeah, I could tell. Like, no butterflies, nothing, guys. Just ready to go.
It is what it is, man.
She's definitely a unique and rare flower.
I am not a unique snowflake.
Yeah.
Right.
The snowflake pajamas.
Right. Eating my bowl of cereal. Who knows? Right.
Yeah. Okay, so hit it.
All right.
Hit it.
So this week they found
Chapstick break.
There you go. Right. They found 3 previously unknown strains of bacteria on the International Space Station. Now, in all fairness, they claim that they all stem from Earth. However, and before I read any of this to you, I'm just, if something, I know, but just follow this through, even if that's true, okay? If something from Earth can go into space and mutate into something that it wasn't, into something totally new, and then ek out in existence in that place, how is it any different that something could come from somewhere else through space, mutate into something new, maybe come to Earth, and ek out in existence here? You feel me?
Right. I'm tracking you.
I mean, who knows? So, 4 species of bacteria, 3 of them previously unknown to science, have been discovered on board the ISS, begging questions about how they got there and how they managed to survive. Their discovery may also bolster future efforts to cultivate crops during spaceflight missions, help plants fight off pathogens. Previous studies had suggested that certain resilient strains of bacteria could survive the harsh conditions of space. Panspermia, that's all I'm saying. And oh yeah, they mentioned that. Okay. They were deliberately placed. Now, they had done experiments. They deliberately placed these resistant strains in space to test the panspermia theory. Another recent study identified a diverse population of bacteria and fungi associated with the human body inside the ISS. That sounds wrong to me, but okay. Where they are somewhat more protected, though still subject to low gravity, recirculated air, high levels of carbon dioxide. The new bacteria were identified from swabs from various locations inside the ISS. So
Swabs.
They found this swabs.
Yeah.
I hope that these were just from inanimate objects. They discovered it on the dining table, in the overhead panel, and in the Cupola Observatory. They're just finding these mutated bacteria growing on the ISS.
That's
They
great.
didn't, in a lot of cases, they didn't even think could survive in space. So you can't tell me that bacteria maybe didn't come from somewhere else, land here, and evolve to meet the conditions here.
I'm tracking you. I'm definitely tracking you.
That's
Well,
wild to me.
That is kind of interesting, to say the least. Sperm. There's a lot of sperm in the
Man,
Space Force
there's
news
a lot of
lately, huh?
sperm
a lot
in
of,
the news,
A lot
man.
of sperm in the news, yeah. But at least this time it's sperm and eggs, right? Because
Right?
I know somebody brought up sperm on the moon. The sperm
Right.
on the moon.
Where's the rest of it?
Where's the embryos? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
what's the plan with that?
Yeah, right.
I want to know what vehicles the Space Marines are driving and the spaceships, and I'd like to
I'm
know.
not flying jizz to the moon, man.
And I'd like to know.
I don't want that job.
I'd like to know also, are we taking eggs to the sperm bank on the moon? I mean, I'm curious. If all life is gone, who are we going to inseminate?
I don't know. Well, I don't think they'll have to inseminate anything. They have artificial wombs. Didn't I show you the article? I posted it on Twitter a long time ago. These artificial wombs, and that I mean, really, for all that, they could make as many clones as they want from the male DNA. They don't need to have the bonding between, between the two contributors. If they're just gonna be making fake human babies in space, man, they could just grow them in artificial wombs.
Nice. Yeah, so sperm
creepy.
eggs need not apply. Australian researchers grow embryos from skin cells.
Yeah, this might also answer your question. Scientists have created a human embryo without sperm or an egg, the first time that's been done. An international team led by researchers from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, successfully grew human embryos from the skin cell of an adult's arm. So they didn't need fetal stem cells or none of that. They were able to use skin cells from an adult to create a freaking embryo. It says it'll allow us to study the early days of human development without using human embryos, and it'll allow us to study cases of infertility. For example, why many miscarriages happen within the first 2 weeks of pregnancy. When placed in a dish, the model embryos, called eiblastoids, attached, much as embryos would in the uterus, and began developing. So they're functional, completely functional. IVF experts are likely to be among those most eager to learn more about the discovery.
Oh my.
They said they had this sort of eureka moment where they were looking down at the microscope and they discovered that they'd formed these little embryo-like looking structures. But naturally, the discoveries raised major ethical questions over cloning and human genetic engineering. Duh. Like, they claim that the embryos are all destroyed at 11 days, so that it cannot develop into a fetus, which is the argument that they make all the time when they're doing these experiments.
Right.
But you can't tell me that there aren't people doing. If they can do this here, somebody will follow that up. They have been followed that up. Like, and there are a lot of countries that don't have the sort of ethical considerations like those of the Western world.
Ethical considerations? You
Yes,
mean the
with
surface?
cloning and
You mean
such.
the surface ethical considerations?
Yes, the claimed
The acknowledged
ethical-
programs,
the
ethical
acknowledged
considerations? Right.
ethical
I
considerations.
hope that's what we're talking about, right?
Because God only knows what DARPA's doing, pinky in the brain down there, trying to take over the world.
Don't even say their name. You'll just attract.
Oh, right.
Just can we
Yeah,
give them a
they-
nickname or something? Let's call them. I don't know what we should call them, but we need a nickname for them
We'll think of something.
that everybody will understand. Okay, so yeah. So in other news, right?
Right.
Man,
On
that
to
wasn't
the
that
next
like
one.
that wasn't the least bit disturbing at all.
It's creepy.
Mars hides an ancient ocean beneath its surface.
Now, this is really kind of interesting. We were talking about Brooks Agnew. Remember, he was talking about how they have evidence that there may be actually, and this was on Conspiracy Couch for those of you guys that didn't watch. This was
Inner Earth Ocean. Yep.
Yes.
Go
last
check
week's
out
Conspiracy
that
Couch.
episode. Very fascinating.
Yes. Now, they promised that's not what's happening here. But oddly enough, this week, a new NASA-backed research found a surprising amount of water locked away inside the crust of Mars. It says for decades, scientists have speculated about what may have happened to all the water on Mars. They thought, like, as the atmosphere deteriorated, the stuff kind of just went off into space or whatever. They've known that there was ice water frozen at the caps, at the poles rather. There were ice caps at the poles. Well, now they believe that a significant portion of the water that was there, like the majority of the water that was on the planet in the first place, is now trapped in the crust. Okay, and of course, obviously, that's of great interest to us. That could be used to harvest water for colonies or to grow plants or even to just terraform the planet in general. They said the atmospheric escape never fully explained the data that they had, and that it definitely doesn't explain the data that they have now for how much water actually once existed on Mars. Eva Scheller from Caltech said. They looked at the models that quantify the amount of water on Mars over time in different forms, and they have determined that even though atmospheric escape maybe had a role in some water loss, they ended up finding out that between 30 and 99% of the water, like as much as 99% of the original Martian water, is still trapped in the crust of the planet. How crazy is that?
Somebody said Darka. I think we're going to go with that.
Darka?
Ding, ding, ding. Darka.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man. Wild. Wild.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait till we actually get to find out what's going on with our inner Earth sections, you know?
Well, I mean,
It's a fascinating topic. It really is.
if our crust is actually 900 miles deep, I think that there, like we were talking about, the potential for things to survive actually in pockets in the crust, which could be something totally separate from the inner Earth ocean, so to speak. But I guess we will have to wait and see. They'll figure it out eventually, or they'll tell us the truth eventually. One of the two. Maybe.
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 Maybe. Okay, so Venus flytraps. This is exciting
Yeah, this
stuff.
is kind of crazy, right? So, some scientists in Switzerland have detected a magnetic signal in a plant using a highly sensitive magnetometer. An interdisciplinary team of researchers measured signals from a Venus flytrap of up to 0.5 picotesla, right? Which is roughly equivalent to the biomagnetic field strength of the human brain, right? How crazy is that? I mean,
Well,
really
I mean,
makes you
they were
think-
figuring it out somehow, you know? It's always puzzled me, the Venus flytraps. Like, how are they doing this?
Yeah, well, it says bioelectromagnetism is the amount of magnetic signal given off by a living thing. And that's what the Swiss research team just measured. The biomagnetic signals originate from electrical fields generated by the physiological activity of a specific organ or tissue, like the human brain. They describe the action potentials. If you look, you can see how the magnetic field, if you scroll down just a little bit, there's a little bit more. That one. You can see that the magnetic field
That
and the
looks like a
electrical
rod.
field are
That looks like a rod. You know those rods, those things that fly in the air? Rods? Have you ever heard of these?
no. Rods from God?
Okay, so no. There's these creatures that fly into the air. I can't believe you've never heard of these, Foil. They're UFOs, but they're not ships. They think they're biological beings, okay? They're like skyfish. They swim, okay? And they've caught them on tape or whatever, and they finally figured out, they discovered them in the early 90s, and they finally figured out that these are beings, but we don't know what they are. We don't know where they come from or really how they do what they do. There's nothing like them, right? They're not insects. They're not birds. And I don't know, it just hit me looking at this. It looks exactly like the whatever you call them, the fins or wings or fin wings, whatever you want to call them, that the rods use to fly. This is what it looks like.
You're going to have to find me. No, I've never heard that.
I mean,
You'll have to find me
does
some
anybody
video.
know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the rods? Do these not look like the rods' wings or whatever you want to call them, fins? That's wild.
Man.
I mean, I'm just saying. It looks.
Well, you're going to have to find me video on that.
I wonder if that's what's propelling the rods.
I don't know, because what you're looking at there is an absolute correlation in the flux of the electrical field and magnetic field that look like they're about on par. You know, maybe.
K Rhea says they look exactly like the rods. Yes. Christina
Somebody's gonna
says yes.
find
The
me
rods.
a video or something so I could see, because I don't
Man,
know what.
I may need to pull up a rod video right quick. Look, check this out. I'm serious. I don't know if I can find anything on the fly though. Foil, continue on. I'll try to pull up a rods video. Oh man, I can't.
Okay. What?
Okay, so it's going to be too hard to do that. So what I'll do is I'll go through Rod's videos. Anybody else, feel free to go through Rod's videos if you find any good Rod videos, and we'll play them next week. And we'll compare this thing to the rods and just look into this a little, because I don't know, it just hit me looking at this. I was like, that looks exactly like the rods, you know?
That's crazy. I've never even heard of that.
Okay, so let's go through this.
Well, so the Venus flytrap has trigger hairs that are like mechanosensors on their little mouthy bits. And when like a bug touches the trigger hair,
Mouthy bits.
it generates an action potential, which is the little, I mean, that's basically what you're looking at there.
Right.
Okay?
Interesting.
Right.
So
And so
contracts.
then you'll see the electrical field that's generated and the magnetic field that's generated. The flux in them is definitely correlated. It's also what causes the mouth to clap.
Fearless just said scalar longitudinal wave propulsion.
It does look like that.
I'm thinking along those lines, basically. That's interesting. I'm going to have to go into a rabbit hole now with the rods in this. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, they were never able to measure it before, but they used, and it's funny because it's something else Brooks, I think, was talking about, squids, the like a superconducting quantum, like an interference device, they were able to measure the magnetic field of the Venus flytrap with. So, that's wild.
Amazing.
For the first time, you can see, like, I mean, we're all the way at the right there as far as measurements go, but I mean, it's on par with the human brain.
We have so much to learn about our world and about creation and I was digging into the ultra terrestrials rabbit hole the other day, and I really, if I were to take a big guess about what the conspiracy going on this planet is and why we can't see the beings all the time and we can't see I think it's because they're out of our light spectrum. It's that simple. I think most of life is. I think this experience that we're having in these meat suits, we're limited. We're very limited what we can see. And maybe that's what the veil is. It's a limitation in the amount of the spectrum you can see.
Yes, I have
maybe
no
that's
doubt
what
of
the
that.
veil is. I mean, and maybe it's just a very brief period and then that goes away in the evolution of a life form, man, and maybe it's created that way for a reason,
Oh, I'm
So they're ultra terrestrials.
Created that way, yes.
Yeah, they're ultra terrestrials. That resonates. Yeah, that definitely resonates. Okay, so Let's see, moving right along here.
Moving right along.
Satellite startup Capella Space aims to tap $60 billion intelligence market with new imagery.
Remember when I called you up at 4 a.m. that day and I was like, they can see into our houses?
Here, somebody sent us a rod vid. Should I pull it up or what? I'm so tempted.
Yeah, if you can.
What if I click on it and things go south? Here.
Oh, okay. Maybe wait. Yeah,
Look,
we're not having the...
Every time I try to click and restream on the link, it's doing a weird thing. Oh, they're sending me all the rods links. I want to click on them. It won't let me click on them and restream,
guys. Well, hold them. I mean, can't we save them and then use them maybe for next show? We can talk about them?
Yeah. Well, no, because I won't know. I'll see the chat. It'll be on YouTube. Are you guys on YouTube? Yeah. The ones that are sending me the links? Yeah. Okay, so it'll be there on YouTube.
We can collect them all and then
Okay, I'll go back. I'll go back and collect them, and we'll do a little rod dig update, and we'll check into that. Okay. So
Capella. Remember when I called you at 4 a.m. that day, and I was like, "Oh my God, the satellites they're putting up there,
yeah,
they can see into our houses." So I had caught an article where they had issued a retraction. Like they had published the article, then they had to make a correction, rather, that a previous version of the article had stated that the satellites could see through the walls of your home, and then they said, no, that's not true. So I'm reading the article, and it's talking about how it can see through cloud cover, it can see through forest canopy, it can see through all of these things straight to the ground, and how they had this company, Capella, that was trying to make this information available to anybody and everybody that could pay for it. Not just intelligence agencies. Like they say intelligence market, but they don't just mean intelligence agencies. That was the synthetic aperture radar, right? We talked about it probably 2 months ago now on Space Force News. But when I saw that they had corrected that, I was like, the dude wrote it down because somebody told him that shouldn't have told him that. And it's true. Remember, we pulled all the extra research. These things absolutely can see through solid objects. All right. Well, in any case, they're back in the news this week. Capella now, they're ready to go. If you scroll down, they have released some of some images that they've made public. It's kind of towards the bottom of the article, but it says satellite imagery specialist Capella Space on Thursday released the first images captured by its two latest spacecraft launched in January. The firm is trying to tap part of an Earth intelligence market it estimates is worth about $60 billion. Capella's business is based on combining a special type of imagery with a small, inexpensive spacecraft. The imagery, known as synthetic aperture radar, allows Capella satellites to capture images at any time, even at night or through cloud cover. The company plans to use its technology to capture part of the government-focused market of intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. Here's what they're not mentioning in this article. Capella made it perfectly clear that they were also going to be opening this up to private individuals. They were going to run your name against international watch lists, and as long as you weren't on an international terrorist watch list, if you had the money to buy their imagery, you could do so. And I'm, go back. I wish I knew what episode it was, because all of the research was there about them being able to see through.
Yeah, I wish I knew what episode that was too. And we didn't. That was before we started listing all the articles. We don't list them out, but we always have them in the links.
No,
but
I think we had it on there that week. I'm gonna have to look.
Yes, it says synthetic aperture radar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we can easily find what episode that was. It's the one with synthetic aperture radar.
So that picture you've got up there, it says this nighttime synthetic aperture radar image shows the Rajpath, a large ceremonial boulevard in New Delhi leading to the India Gate. The reflected energy shows the arc of the monument, as well as large gathering of vehicles in front of the monument. They're just showing you, the detail that they can offer. But like I said, they can see. They made it very explicitly, so they could see through forest canopy, they could see through cloud cover at any time.
Wah, wah, wah.
Right?
All bad.
Truly creepy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
okay, so that concludes science. Now we are on to right? Now we are on to disclosure and UFOs. So they want rods. Woohoo. They're totally going crazy in there. They want rod videos.
Well, see if you can get it to open. If it crashes,
right.
the system,
how about
your guys' fault.
Okay, put them in the Foxhole chat, guys. That way I can copy and paste the link and put it over here on this screen instead of trying to pull it up with everything else. So throw me a couple links on Foxhole and I'll copy and paste them.
Oh yeah, they are going ham on the rods, huh?
Yeah, they're going crazy on the rods. They want rods.
Hey, Alfredo, we see you.
I can hear them yelling. We want rods.
Who said
we want
my
rods.
hairy fearless, right?
Sounds about right.
Right.
Yeah. So as soon as my rod links show up in the Foxhole chat, I will pull up a couple rod vids and we'll check them out real quick. Man. I don't know what. I'm not a rods researcher. It's making me want to talk to one now.
Are they like floating jellyfish?
Oh, Debbie's on it. Debbie's on it. So send the links
mod
to
of
Debbie.
the year.
All right.
Right.
All right. So I got one link here. Let's see what it is. Man, if you guys rickroll me right now, I swear.
Don't give them any ideas.
They would do that too.
Put the rods in your Foxhole.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
what is that?
Oh, it's the rods video. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna check this out. Whoa. That's a lot of rods.
What?
Yeah, they're like skyfish. We'll find a video that has them slowed down. You never heard of these things?
No.
All right, hold on. Let me go grab another link from
What are
Debbie.
they doing?
Well, this is a deep one. If you've never heard of the rods, how do you never heard of rods? Here, I'm picking up the second link from Debbie right now. It must be.
I don't know, but them things look angry.
No, that's just that particular video. Just hang tight, hang tight. That's not working out well. Let's move on to the next rods link. Yeah, that's not working out well. All right, Debbie. What's next? Here, we're gonna go with Mystic Wanderer's link. You better not rickroll me, Mystic Wanderer. All right, let's see.
Hey, you knew the rules.
Everybody wants rods, so we're doing rods. I can't believe nobody knows about the rods. Well, some people do.
No, apparently plenty of people.
No,
I just don't know.
It's me obtaining the links from Foxhole somehow. It's not picking up the whole link. Cause look, I have to widen the screen. Look, I knew this was going to be difficult to try to do live. All right, let me hold on. This is slowed down, she says. Let me try to grab this link from Mystic Wanderer. Let's see if it'll work now. Man, what is going on tonight? Okay, let me try Popcorn Party's link. Come on now. Let's see.
Maybe I'm not supposed to know what the hell.
No.
But they do look, even the little paused picture does kind of
Hold
look
on.
like that.
That's not, hold on. That was moving way too quick for you to get an understanding of them. Hold on. I'm trying to pull the link right now. I'm pulling Popcorn Party's link.
And I don't understand half of the stuff we look at, man.
Oh, here we go. Looks like we
Okay.
got something here. Let's try this.
So they're just randomly like close to the ground or whatever,
No,
like
they're-
just
Oh, see that? That was one of them. No, that was a sphere.
them
But
look like bugs.
No,
Wait,
no. You can clearly, in some videos, you can clearly see. Watch it. Now it's slowed down.
Okay.
Watch.
all right.
You got to see their wings to see. You see it?
Oh, what the hell?
That's what I'm talking about. Does that not look like it? Look, that's a rod, right? There are these things we don't know what they are. They show up in cameras, and they move super fast. You have to slow it down to really see.
So
their
they're
form.
not. You can't see this unless it's via a camera.
I've never observed one. I mean, not with my naked eye. I don't know. Has anybody
What
else
the
ever heard
hell?
of someone observing it with their naked eye? You know what's crazy about this right now is that I was watching a show on rods today. Today, you guys. Today. It's like, you know, when the universe does that, there's a message, is what I've learned.
Well,
Like, of
gotta
all
find out.
days, I was watching a
Wait.
show.
Let that go. He said it, you can see it here too. I mean, man.
There's not rods
like-
right here. I don't know what's happening here, but it's not
Look what
rods.
it says. Flying rods.
Where? On
Allow
this one?
video right
Okay.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
well, let's try it out. Oh, see it go by? Watch, they need to slow it down. They don't know what they are, but they catch them with cameras and you know, video cameras. I wish we had one of those guys, those guys base jumping into that canyon in Mexico.
Oh, what the hell?
What? What'd I miss?
Did you see it right there?
No. Do I gotta rewind
It's
it?
there. Yeah. Just a little bit. No.
Right here.
Not that far.
All right.
You try there.
Here.
It's still paused. Go back a little bit farther.
It's not paused. It's rolling. Oh, there it is. You see it? There it is. See? That's it right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But see, there's flesh in between those things you see sticking out of the side. There's flesh in between there, and it does this kind of motion. Like, you know, like popping and locking kind of. It does this kind of motion, right? No, I'm serious.
Didn't Da Vinci have a flight design that had like a spiral? Man, I know he did.
But look, this doesn't show the flaps. Now, Matt, this doesn't show the flaps in between the pins there, the pin-looking things. But if you could see the flaps showed down, it literally looks, where is it? It literally looks exactly like that diagram. Like, literally exactly. Where is it? I lost it now. It literally looks
down.
exactly like that diagram. It's wing things, the flaps that are in between those pins look exactly like that. And nobody can figure out how they fly. They're flying they're swimming in the air is how they describe it. They're swimming in the air. And we know nothing about them. We haven't had a chance to study them or figure out where they come
like
from
I
or
said,
how their
Da Vinci
propulsion
had
works.
a design for something that had like a spiral wing. Now this, what you're looking at on the screen with the Venus flytrap, that's just a graph to show you that the flux of the freaking electric and the magnetic is, you know, correlated
So
or whatever.
Those are the rods, guys. Go into a little
That's
rabbit
wild.
hole with those and dig up, because there's rod videos that show them slow down and you can see the flaps. And
Archimedes
this is exactly what
screw.
they look like.
Maybe it was Archimedes. I thought Da Vinci had made a
I
design.
think they
Sorry,
both
yes.
had something similar, actually, along those lines. Okay, so moving on to disclosure. So in case you hadn't have heard yet, Ratcliff, DNI Ratcliff, or former DNI Ratcliff, was on Fox News. And
Maria Bartiromo, yeah, that was
she
wild.
asked him about the 180 days and what to expect. And this is what he said.
At CDW, we get your
man.
IT staff has to be ready.
That's definitely what he said.
Man. Here.
Right.
I gotta go through there and then I'll unmute it.
It's about that time, though. We're getting close. The fact that he would even go on there and talk about it.
Well,
is
let's play
amazing.
this and then go into what the Defense Authorization Act says about it. And that will give people clarity on what to expect. Because a lot of people have been speculating on what we can expect. You and I have been discussing that. What kind of disclosures we can expect to get. So between the two, it helps bring a better understanding. How do I unmute this guy now? Okay.
In your role, the most intelligence that anybody has seen other than
Let's
the
get rid of
president
us.
as the director of national intelligence. And I've been wanting to ask you this next question for a while. I want to ask you about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. The Pentagon is going to come out with a report by June 1st. And in the $2.3 trillion omnibus appropriations legislation passed in January, it includes the Intelligence Authorization Act, money for the Pentagon to continue investigating UFOs. John, we're going to get this report June 1st. Can you tell us, have unidentified flying objects been seen?
Well, sure. We have lots of reports about what we call unidentified aerial phenomenon. And this actually is a program that's been in place for a few years in terms of a task force that has been there under the National Defense Authorization Act. But as you correctly point out, Maria, there's now a report that will be issued by the Pentagon, by the Secretary of Defense and the Director of National Intelligence. I actually wanted to get this information out and declassified before I left office, but we weren't able to get it down into an unclassified format that we could talk about quickly enough. But frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public. Some of those have been declassified. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that...
So are they going to say they're aliens or what? I mean, hold on. Okay, I'll let it finish playing the clip. I'll let the clip finish before.
And thank you, Mark. 222,
Thank
he
you,
says.
Mark. All right, let's let it finish hearing the clip.
That are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that, exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So, in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain. And so, there's actually quite a few of those, and I think that information is being gathered and will be put out in a way that the American people can see. We always, when we see these things, Maria, we always look for a plausible explanation. Weather can cause disturbances, visual disturbances. Sometimes we wonder whether or not our adversaries have technologies that are a little bit further down the road than we thought or that we realized. But there are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we've seen. And, when that information becomes declassified, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that.
Can you tell us where it was seen?
Actually, all over the world. There have been sightings all over the world. And when we talk about sightings, the other thing I will tell you is it's not just a pilot or just a satellite or some intelligence collection. Usually we have multiple sensors.
Dude, this is the red pill moment for Maria. Look at her face. Look at her face. It's like she never thought about it before, and now she's realizing, oh, there's aliens
that are picking up these things. And so, again, some of this are just they're unexplained phenomenon. And there's actually quite a few more than have been made public. So I think it'll be healthy for as much of this information to get out there as possible so that the American people can see some of the things that we've been dealing with.
Okay, wow.
Why is D-Live yelling at me and telling me that I'm streaming copyrighted content?
It's fair use. I don't know. It's fair use. It's Fox News.
But why is D-Live yelling at me right now?
Like, the platform is yelling at you?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's telling me that I'm streaming copyrighted content.
Okay, well.
But anyway.
That was the end of it anyway.
Well, no, there's a little bit more.
That is pretty extraordinary. We so appreciate that you're talking to us about this. Can this year get any weirder? Pandemic, shutdown, UFOs. John Ratcliff, it's great to see you. Thank you so much.
Well, there you have it.
That's crazy.
There
You
it is.
asked, what are they going to... I personally think that I don't think we're going to get everything we're looking for right now. I think that they may give us some more sightings that they consider to be verifiably unidentified. And I think that they will say, we cannot attribute all of this to Russia or China. And then that leaves the question, well, if it's not Russia or China, then what is it?
Then what is it?
And then we can progress into the actual conversation.
All right.
Because
so
until we get past that, we can't have the real conversation with this.
what exactly am I looking for in the Defense Authorization Act?
If you scroll down to where it says advanced aerial threats,
Advanced aerial threats. Does it say it in the middle or
Yeah.
on the left?
it'll be a subsection. Like there'll be a subtitle. I think it's
Okay,
all caps. It
hold
says
on.
advanced aerial threats.
Advanced aerial threats. I'm trying to find it. Security clearances. Advanced aerial threats. I don't see it yet. I'm looking.
There's a lot there, I know.
Man,
I mean, they basically specify that they want this put into a report form. They want to, and any research that's been done, any measures that they have already taken to gauge these things in any kind of quantifiable way. They want to know any attributions that they've made. Could this be Russia or China specifically? And what plans they are going to take in the future. And they want to have all of this put into a declassified enough form to be discussed in front of Congress. And like I said, until we can eliminate the idea that this is just coming from one of our earthbound adversaries, we can't have the actual conversation about, so what is it really? So I think that's the first step. I don't think we're going to get any huge disclosure from these people.
Oh, here
I
it
think
is.
they may. You found it?
yeah, I found it. Here. Okay. Let me put us back on the screen. Okay. The committee supports the efforts. Hold on. The committee supports the efforts of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force at the Office of Naval Intelligence to standardize collection and reporting on unidentified aerial phenomena, any links they have to adversarial foreign governments, and the threat they pose to U.S. military assets and installations. However, the committee remains concerned that there is no unified, comprehensive process within the federal government for collecting and analyzing intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena despite the potential threat. The committee understands that the relevant intelligence may be sensitive nevertheless. The committee finds that the information sharing and coordination across the intelligence community has been inconsistent, and this issue has lacked attention from senior leaders. Therefore, the committee directs the DNI in consultation with the Secretary of Defense, and the heads of other such agencies as the Director and Security jointly consider relevant to submit a report within 180 days of the date of enactment of the Act to the Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committee on Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, also known as anomalous aerial vehicles, including observed airborne objects that have not been identified. The committee further directs the report to include, number 1, a detailed analysis of unidentified aerial phenomena data and intelligence reporting collected or held by the Office of Naval Intelligence, including data and intelligence reporting held by the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Number 2, a detailed analysis of unidentified phenomena data collected by, number 1, geospatial intelligence, 2, signals intelligence, 3, human intelligence, and 4, measurement and signals intelligence. 3, a detailed analysis. This is literally the same stuff we read last week that was in that article. A detailed analysis of data of the FBI, which was derived from investigations of intrusions of unidentified aerial phenomena data over restricted United States airspace. 4, a detailed description of an interagency process for ensuring timely data collection and centralized analysis of all unidentified aerial phenomena reporting for the federal government, regardless of which service or agency acquired the information. Number 5, identification of an official accountable for the process described in paragraph 4. Oh, that's interesting. Identification of an official accountable for the process described in paragraph 4. Identification of potential aerospace or other threats posed by the unidentified aerial phenomena to unidentified aerial phenomena activity may be attributed to one or more foreign adversaries. So they want to know straight up if it's a foreign government or not. So number 7, identification of any incidents or patterns that indicate a potential adversary may have achieved breakthrough aerospace capabilities that could put United States strategic or conventional forces at risk. Number 8, recommendations regarding increased collection of data, enhanced research and development, and additional funding and other resources. The report shall be submitted in unclassified form, but may include a classified annex.
Yeah, so we should be able to, even if they don't directly release it, we should be able to FOIA request at least the unclassified bits. And basically, they want a point man. They want a compilation of all the greatest hits, and they want to know if this was Russia or China. And if it was, and then, like I said, that's going to beg the question: if it's, once they establish that it's not them, they're going to have to look into what is it then.
Yeah, I really have a hard time even making a prediction where this is going to go first. I really am trying to figure out how they're going to play this, and
well, know that they've already figured out how they're going to play this, or
right.
This wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, they know how they're going to play it. See, how do they admit to the extraterrestrial presence and then avoid the question of have we captured one of them, and if so, one of their ships, and if so, how we did that? You know what I mean?
Well, they may.
See,
they may be able.
How
to
do
say,
they keep themselves out of trouble in the process? That's the problem. I
don't know. They'll probably attribute some of it to adversaries. They'll probably say some of it is still unidentified.
No, he basically said in that interview, like, no. We know it's this and that. We know when it's a phenomenon, this and that. These ones that I'm talking about right now are not. They are not those things. So basically what you're saying without saying it is these are, extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, ultra, whatever you want to call them. These are some kind of intelligence that is not one of our Earth governments. So, but they're just not saying it.
That's got to be step one, though. This isn't an Earth government, and then we can continue on the path from there. It has to be.
I'm just wondering where they're going to take it from there. I mean, these patents are coming out about these advanced propulsion systems, right? So what are we going to tell people that
they
somebody
are never going to come out and say
they reverse engineered it from ET Tech, right?
Yeah, they're never going to come out and say we captured, such and such and such and such, and this is what they're never going to do.
They're going to say somebody invented it and they've had it in secret for 20 years and it's just going to so happen to coincide with so that would be the natural place to go next, you guys, is Antarctica. Okay, so yeah, we think there's these ships that fly around and they're not us. We don't know what they are. And then the natural place to go from there without putting the fire on them would be to go to Antarctica. Yeah. Okay,
well,
so
we found this old stuff.
Some old stuff in the ice that's preserved, but it crashed. We don't know how it crashed.
Yeah, don't freak out. It's not alive.
Right.
That's what we found this.
Maybe that's where they'll start. So the ETs are watching us. We know they're real because we found their stuff in Antarctica, right? Or here or there.
Or they'll say, we think they left a long time ago. Don't panic.
And they just watch. Or whatever.
Or they're not even
that doesn't
anymore.
play into the fear narrative, though. So I wonder.
I don't know.
Or maybe that's a whole nother faction that would try to play that up, and this is maybe there's a white hat faction of disclosure that's who's going to win out? We don't know. But Tyler said either way, it's going to be a lie. Well, yeah, either way, it ain't going to be the whole truth. It's going to be probably a very small portion of it, partial truth and partial BS. But.
Ain't that always the way, though? The best lies are based on
it's so
primarily
insulting.
truth.
It's so insulting to the people, too, because so many people have either seen a UFO or had a contact experience. They know they're there. People know.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be the whole planet, but it's a lot of us.
How many videos do we show every week that, maybe some of them end up, but there are too many. There's just too many.
They're insulting our intelligence at this point by not coming out and saying, okay, there's extraterrestrials. We know they're there. They watch us. It's really, that's why I don't see how this plays out for them. And really, as far as disclosure goes, I think it's going to come from the ETs. not the Earth governments. I think
Maybe.
when we get to a certain level in our development and we step into our power as a civilization and decide to end all the darkness and the corruption here, and which is happening now, that at some point they'll just reveal themselves. I think it'll be out of their hands. Like, I really feel that way, because do you know how long it's going to take these people to ever get to that point where there's actual honesty about what's been going on here and out there? It's going to take too long. You know, at this rate, I mean, he didn't even say the word aliens yet. Or, I mean, I know we're not supposed to see aliens, but just for the sake of whatever, humor me. He didn't say extra ultra-terrestrial, interdimensional. We don't know. I mean, they haven't even gone in that direction yet. But I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next 180 days. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a curveball and they'll say,
I don't know. They're going to have to tell us, they'll start with we found bacteria on Mars. Well,
we just got 3 new forms of bacteria on the ISS.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, but when are we going to move out of the bacteria phase?
Hey, got to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, at this rate, man.
When they land on the White House lawn, probably.
Suiterbug says we don't get full disclosure until the solar event. Man, I hope not. I hope it comes in my lifetime, you know? We just got to keep at it, friends. We just keep at it. We just got to keep at it.
Plugging away.
That's right.
Right.
All right, let's check out a couple UFO videos.
Yeah, some of them are crazy.
Move on to space
this
weather.
Week.
All right.
Is this the crazy one?
I don't know which one this is, Foil. Where's this guy going?
Landon?
Apparently.
Maybe? Oh.
Did he just phase out or what?
Yeah, or something. Maybe it was a fairy.
I don't know what that was, but that was
right.
Definitely unidentified is what it was.
Definitely unidentified.
Okay.
For sure.
Let's see what we got here. UFO over PDX 31821. Oh, so this is recent. Let's check this out.
You gotta rewind it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hello.
Yeah, this was caught on somebody's just a cam at their house.
Oh, their ring? Man.
Look at him just flashing away.
Looks like he's powering up. I don't know who he's powering up for, though, because it isn't like there's anybody watching him.
Yeah, well, we are.
True. We are. If you really look, it looks like something shoots out the side here of this guy, like to the left. Can't remember at which timestamp, though. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just cruising, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really trying to get anywhere. Oh no. Yeah, he's out now.
And he's out.
And
right?
he's out, yeah. And he's out.
He literally was powering up just for the camera view.
Right, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's really wild. All right, next up, shout out to Scott at UFO Sightings Daily. We have something from him. This is one of those cylindrical ships, isn't it?
I don't know. It looks... Yeah. That looks big, too. Get your camera steady there, guy. That thing looks big.
Did Marfugal News just host? Am I seeing that right, Tessa?
Oh, maybe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What up, Marf?
If I am, thank you, Marfugal. That's very nice of you.
I watch him all the time. I love that show.
I've watched him a few times.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite places.
He's good. All right.
I'm a fan.
So this looks like a cylindrical ship to me. It looks like one of the... Didn't it look like that to you guys?
Big cigar. That thing is big.
Yeah. Cigar. Yeah, cigar shaped. Oh, I guess that's the scientific term for it, isn't it?
What, cigar shaped?
Yeah. Right. All right. So.
Wait. Where's the wild?
And then look at this. Oh, I love when this happens. This is great. When they get some ship going by the moon. Whoops. Whoopsie.
Yeah, all the time. Like, all the time.
Check this out, guys. Here, let me get rid of our head.
Here, get rid of us. We're in the way. Oh, it's at the bottom, too, but...
Whoops. You know, what's that, right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
This is fine.
Hey, Fearless said space sharks with lasers. Yep. You know, it's got to be. Yeah, what is that? So this was April 29, 2007. Location Busto Arzioso. Can't say that right. Italy. Interesting. Yep. So what is that? We don't know, but it shouldn't be there, whatever it is. Okay. All right. And now this one,
This is the crazy one.
This one's crazy. Like, check this out.
Yeah, this is the freaking crazy one.
This guy's channel's good. Only Real UFOs channel. Shout out to him or her, whoever it is. Check this out. This looks a lot like that ship that, didn't they say there was a Arcturian ship that was spotted, not Siberia, but I can't remember. And then you could see the beings in the cockpit. Do you remember that? It sat there for hours. I think, was it Roger Lear or someone else that taped that? It was somebody else.
The one that we showed that was over the lake?
No, it was over a lake, yeah, but you could see the beings in the ship. Department of Winning sent it to me a long time ago. He knows which one I'm talking about.
I don't know. This is the crazy one, though. This...
Yeah, this one's wild.
Mira, esto es como un extraterrestre, algo así.
Look at that.
Right? Legit. I can't wait till we get into the fun science. Like how these things operate. And we can work on it. You know what I mean, Foil? Like how these things operate, we can work on it publicly, like it's not hidden anymore, and we can actually all dig in and study the life forms that we're here and are observing and study their technology all out in the open. Isn't that going to be an amazing time?
It'll be glorious. A glorious time for science.
Yeah, this is a cool ship. Check this out.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy, dude.
Are we sure this one's not CGI?
I was thinking it looks like that.
It's just too cool. Like, and I'm not saying there aren't ships out there that look this cool.
But listen though.
But like when they look this cool, I tend to want to look and figure out what, you know. I'm generally good at picking that out when it comes to UFO videos, but still, sometimes when they really look that, you know,
clear, isn't that sad?
It's sad. Yeah, I know.
We get some clear videos and then you just automatically doubt it.
Yep. It's the truth though. But I mean, that one's wild. I mean, if that is legit, that's like, that's wild. But it does look like that ship that was over the lake. I'm trying to remember where it was. And it was sitting there for hours and you could see the little guys driving the ship. I'm serious. You could see the little guys driving the ship. It was incredible footage. I don't think that's one of the few cases of UFO footage like that's been caught. So anyway, super fascinating. Okay, so let's see, moving on from there. Oh, we already went through the rods, so yeah, we're gonna have to check out rod videos and do an update tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm tripping about that. I had no idea.
On the rods. Yeah, we're gonna have to find some more diagrams that are connected to that article too on the Venus flytrap. We're gonna find some more articles, go through rod videos, try to find ones that are slowed down to look at their whatever you call them, their wing, whatever it is, structure. And there's something there. I'm telling you, there was a reason. I was watching the rods video today, and then that hit me when you were showing that. There's a reason for all of that. We just gotta make the
Alara's giving us homework.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, you've got the commander is giving homework tonight, and that is to go into the rods rabbit hole, and I don't know, somebody will hit pay dirt.
Very rarely do we come across something that I'm completely clueless about, but you guys caught me off guard
Yeah,
today.
the rods is a thing. It's a thing, and I wonder what they really are. Like the fact that we can't see them with our naked eyes and we don't catch them and we don't have a specimen that I'm aware of yet.
Do you remember? You never watched Stargate. Now wait, because in Stargate they had an episode, and I know I'm always talking about these weird science fiction shows, where there were like interdimensional bugs that came through. You know what I mean? But you had to have been exposed to a certain thing to be able to see them, but they were always there.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? And it's just crazy because we see stuff line up like that all the time.
All right, Foil. We are 15 minutes over the mark right now. So on that note, that will conclude
space weather,
disclosure, and UFO, and we'll be moving on to space weather with Alexis from Ascension Diaries.
Space weather.
Ready? And now for your space weather.
Space weather.
You're supposed to say it in unison, Foil. Man, I got to get her in line, guys.
Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to another space weather update. My name is Alexis from AscensionDiaries.com, and I am here to bring you the space weather for this week and what's going to be coming. It is March 21st, 2021. It is the equinox, equal day, equal night of the whole planet. Very big equalizer, a global event for us, and it's going to cause a lot of electromagnetic shifts on the planet. So the space weather and the global shifts are going to be heightened this week. And so just heads up, we had a big CME there on the 20th. I also think we may have had a solar flare on the 18th as well. So we've been having some decent weather so far. We're currently in a geomagnetic storm. It's 2:45 p.m. right now, Pacific time, where I'm at. And I just got a notification that, again, this storm is happening, and it's been happening since that CME really popped out of the sun. The solar wind speeds have been about 200 over average over the last few days, which would cause tension already on your nervous system and soreness. So make sure you're getting hydrated and lots of minerals and greens. We're currently sitting at a 646 wind speed here, which is causing some decent pressure on the planet, but not as bad as I've seen. We still have more to give. So it's actually been more smooth than I've predicted so far, and we are seeing that into the week there is some more energy that's going to be impacting us. So keep an eye open. We're going to talk more about it in my live stream. And we have some solar wind coming out of these big coronal holes, possibly some solar flares from these sunspots. I'd like to shout out SchumannBot on Twitter, and they've just posted this graphic to help explain where the Schumann resonances actually are on this chart, because this chart measures 0 to 40 hertz, not just those 4 frequencies. Right here, they actually put 5 here, which is awesome. So really helpful tool. SchumannBot uploads every hour the Schumann resonance. So let's talk about what happened last night at midnight when the clock struck midnight Pacific Standard Time. We received a Schumann resonance input, but we're also seeing way more stuff going on here, which I will talk about tonight. We reached an amplitude of 23, again, midnight Pacific Standard Time, and then it dissipated. Nothing crazy. So you may have been up until midnight. I was, and then I went right to sleep. And so what I want to show you from the Schumann this last week was on the 18th. Like I said, we had a blackout. This is on SchumannBot's Twitter. I went back in time, and we're going to talk about Q factor tonight, which is a physics electrical term about basically stored energy is what I understand. So if you know more, please do come. I need to learn more, because the Q factor of the 4th fundamental frequency of the Schumann resonance hit a 260, something I hadn't seen before, but they chose not to black it out. They chose to black out what happened before then and then show us this, which was interesting. So very curious, want to learn more about this science. Let's do it together. In Italy, we're seeing over the last few days, there's been blasts as well. In South Africa has been the most popular, as usual. Global Consciousness Dot has been in the red and green today. It's okay if consciousness is a little flip-floppy right now. The whole energy of the planet is flip-flopping, so it's cool. And if you need any of these resources, you can go to my link tree, because I have that stuff in there too, as well as all my sources for everything that you need to jump onto my live streams and whatever. So thank you again very much for having me, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful night. I will see you next week.
Beep, bubble, beep. Beep, bubble, beep. I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alexis, for the amazing space weather update. You can always find
as always.
Alexis. All her links are listed below. She has a full-scale space weather update that she puts on her channel every Sunday. We kind of work in union with each other, so you can go and check that out on her channel. Also, her husband, Jace, which is Cosmic Origins, he is doing great work talking about XRP and bringing all that sort of crypto stuff into the consciousness. He covers Mr. Pool, crypto, and all the connectedness with that sort of stuff. So I know very little about all of it, but I'm making you all aware of this, and to definitely check out Cosmic Origins channel too.
Jace is awesome. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
Go look it up.
Jace is an awesome dude. Yeah, and he knows all about the crypto thing, which I know absolutely zero about. But I'm trying to learn. So you know that that's the source to begin to learn. And yes, thank you, Alexis. Your space weather updates are always delightful and wonderful. Okay, so they want me to release the chest. Yeah, they're gonna have me.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah, they're gonna have.
Don't get us
okay, so let me
mobbed.
pull it up real quick and do that. Mute it. So they want me. Whoops. Okay, so the chest. Thank you, Stina, for your diamond. Thank you, friends. Okay, so
diamond hands.
Right? I was trying to figure out the Mr. Pool decode, and I was struggling with that. I went in there and checked out what the poolers were saying, and I was like, I think I'm completely off, but it's still fun, right? They were saying earth, air, and water foil on the diamond.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. I was totally off. I was like, up, down, diamond hands. Whoopsie. I swear I'm good at decoding once in a while. Sometimes I'm way off the mark, though. All right, so the chest is distributing right now, friends, on DLive. Let's see. Okay, so it is distributed out there in DLive land. All right, let's see. A couple of announcements before we close the show. Carly Q will be on with me live on Wednesday night.
Woo!
Yeah, so that's lots of fun. I always love hanging out with Carly. I'm going to make her talk about ETs and holograms, and it's going to be fun. So, and then Conspiracy Couch, we will be doing back-to-back. It will be, Wednesday Night Live is 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. And then Conspiracy Couch will be Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. And
Conspiracy Masterclass with Sam Tripoli.
Conspiracy Masterclass.
Super stoked about that.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely come and hang out, guys. Other than that, I think that about covers it, Foil. Have I covered it?
I think you got it. Thanks to the mods.
Yeah, big thank you to the mods.
To the chat.
Thanks for helping us with the rods videos, you guys. Thank you to those that posted links and tried to help out with that. I really, really appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And yeah. And I don't want Sunday to end, Foil. It's just so fun.
We never do.
I know. Shout out to Marfugal. Thank you, Marfugal, for showing love and hosting us.
Your show's great.
It's very, very nice of you. Thank you.
Right. Feel better. All right, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow us. Clearly, all of our links are in the description below. You can donate to Space Force News Live directly at loyaltothefoil.com, which is also in the description below. Make sure to meet us here next Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another awesome episode of Space Force News Live. Keep your eyes on the skies and stay loyal.
I think just 1 second before we close. Marfugal says, would love to have you for a panel sometime if you are interested.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
we would love it.
Yeah, that would be great. Just let us know. You can find my email address in the description below. I'm sure one of the mods can post the link to my email address. You can email me, or you can email Foil. If the mods can post both those email addresses in the chat, that would be great. Thank you so much. All right, so on that note, you just did your spiel, and now I messed up the spiel, and it's all messed up. But, you know, we are your news in this dimension and the next. Good night, space peeps. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.